ask at the end of every job interview. They ask if you have any questions, and you look like a deer in headlights, or even worse, you mumble something about team culture or training, and boom, moment lost. Listen up, because this is the one question that'll make you unforgettable. Most people waste the ending of the interview. They treat it like a cool down stretch after a workout. No, this is your moment to flip the script. Here's the line you drop. If you hired me and we're sitting here 12 months from now and you're thrilled with what I've accomplished, what would I have done to earn that? If you hired me and we're sitting here 12 months from now and you're thrilled with what I've accomplished, what would I have done to earn that? That's not a question. That's a mic drop. Here's what it does. 1, it shows you're outcome driven. 2, it signals long-term thinking. 3, it gets them picturing you already in the role. And 4, it flips the pressure back on them in a classy, strategic way. Most candidates ask, what's the next step? You just asked, what does success really look like here? And how can I deliver it? That's next level energy.
First of all, I don't think there is a one question that you must ask in an interview. I don't think there's a one question. I do like his question because it shows a, kind of a growth mindset. It shows development, long-term aspirations. It paints a picture of what the ideal candidate would look like in that role. So I do like the question. I just don't know that there is one question that's ideal. I think if you go into an interview and you have the mindset that you are looking for that one question and you have a cookie cutter question for the interview and you think that's the mic drop, I think that you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. I think ideally you want to create questions based on the interview itself. You want to make sure that the questions are somewhat organic, right? Questions that are based off the exchange that you guys have had throughout the course of the 30 minutes or hour, whatever it is. I think the questions should be somewhat intentional. I think it should show some type of self-awareness and readiness to get in there and do the role. I think that if you are speaking to an HR person, that question is going to be a little bit different. If you're speaking to a hiring manager, it's going to be, again, a little bit different. And then if you have that final checkoff interview where you're speaking to the manager's manager, the SVP, vice president, owner, or whatever it is, it's going to be a different type question. That question is going to be about long-term growth within the organization. It's going to say, what excites you most about where the organization is headed in the next year, next 2 years, next 6 months, or whatever. That person wants to know that I have someone that's on the bench that can pick up and roll with this organization, that's speaking or thinking long-term down the road. That's what they're looking for. But if you ask that question to the HR manager is not going to know what the hell you're talking about. Right? So, but if you ask the hiring manager, the actual department manager, something related to, entry level type of stuff, then they're not going to, know what you're talking about either. So never go into an interview thinking that there is one silver bullet. There is one question that you can ask. There's one question that's going to get you over the top. That's one question that's the mic drop. If you do, then you're fooling yourself. You design your questions based on the people that you're talking to. If you're talking to partners, if you're talking to people in other departments, people that you're going to work with throughout the organization, you talk about that partnership and how your role connects with their organization. If you're talking to the hiring manager, you want to know how what you do every day is going to make things better for them within their job, within their organization. How are you going to help them succeed and win? And if you're talking about the SVP, the senior vice president, the CEO, or whatever it is, the manager's manager, you're talking more holistically about long-term, how you're going to grow. Again, it's better if it's more organic, but never go into this interview thinking that you got one silver bullet. As my brother said, one mic drop. No, design your questions based on the people that you're speaking to. All right. Thanks a bunch. Have a good one.